The Navy is really where I learned a couple things. First of all, I learned I could live anywhere.
Hello and welcome to Already Won a Sports Friends podcast. I'm here as your host, the Wildcat, and I'm here with the Mad Dog, Kyle Apps. Here he is.
Sprinkling the dust, the gold dust.
We are sprinkling Mad Dog in season 3. So many guests. One episode after another. I know people have said to me, you guys are just churning them out, episode after episode. Game changer after game changer. This week, Mad Dog, we have got, I tell you what, very exciting. We've got something that actually we are part of, not even close to our heart, we're part of it. So we've, our full-time work is with Sports Friends, but we also, on the side, we've got enroll with KitAid-USA. So tell the listeners about our roles with KitAid-USA.
Yeah, so, I mean, you've been working with Derek and KitAid in the UK for years now, and we've seen the impact and just the growth of what KitAid is doing around the world. And we talked about this, with Derek and between us, is that can we do it in the US? Can we do the same thing? I'm already kind of doing something like that, but can we make it and grow it and make it as big as KitAid in the UK, but have it called KitAid-USA? And we did. We registered it last year. We're part of it. It's not taken away from our work with Sports Friends, and in fact, it's enhancing it. So I think this is it's a good chance to talk, not just amongst ourselves, because that's boring. People don't listen to us. Sometimes they do. People prefer to listen to someone else. So we're bringing in an expert, the logistics director. Are we not?
We are. We certainly are. And I love that because you've been doing this. Okay, so you take it over all the different places you've been, West Africa, beyond, Southeast Asia, different places. So you're already doing this, okay? So you've registered it officially. I've been working as a volunteer, KitAid UK, doing communication, so social media, LinkedIn, YouTube videos, okay? And so now I'm going to do that with KitAid USA. That's something I can still do because I've been doing that. And now Herschel is going to be our logistics director. But we also have Derek Williams. So Derek was the founder of KitAid UK, our first ever guest on Already Won, episode 2 of season 1. Do you remember that, Mad Dog? All those episodes ago? Do you remember?
I certainly do. Wildcat, I remember that. That was a long time ago.
Did you get out? So we've got an up-to-date video, and Derek is going to speak now on that. He's going to tell us about a very special meet and greet event, which is happening next week in Charlotte. So let's give this a listen.
KitAid-USA is far more than just a shirt. Really excited that this time next week we'll be in Charlotte for the launch of KitAid-USA, which is fantastic to think that from little KitAid starting 27 years ago with one box of kit, we'll be on another continent and we've got the excitement of seeing how KitAid-USA grows and grows. Please do check us out on our website, which is at KitAid-USA.com, and also on other social media sites.
Good stuff. Good to hear from the founder, the most British excellent. No, what's it? What's the title he's got?
MBE. You have to go and listen to the episode. You have to go and listen to season 1, episode 2 to find out its proper title.
There you go. I don't know if you watched it. You couldn't see us in the background, but I wrote when I saw Derek, I had to stand up, and I heard I cued the music, the British.
I said, well, if you want to meet them in person, like I said, next Friday, March.
That's a good
28th.
segue. Next Friday, 28th of March.
There you go.
In Charlotte, right near Carowinds. Just give us a call. Go to our website, KitAid-USA.com. Send us an email, info@KitAid-USA.com. It'll be on the bottom of the screen as well as we go through this next great chat with Herschel.
Perfect. So good. Right. There's a meet and greet. Looking forward to that. They can go online, look at the website, look at social media. But like you said, we need to hear from an expert. So we're going to bring in Herschel Rothchild, logistics director. Let's bring him in. All right, guys. Please welcome the podcast. A very, very special guest. Please welcome the logistics director for KitAid-USA, Herschel Rothchild.
I'm here. Come on. Woo!
You made it. You made it to the podcast.
It's only taken, 3 seasons?
Hey, man. Third time's a charm.
I haven't missed an episode yet. What a great podcast. I'm blessed and privileged to be here.
He's doing the commercial. We love it.
Well, Herschel, you've been watching us, but we need to know more about you. So Mad Dog is going to ask you some quick fire to get us going.
We know you listen. We know you watch. Maybe you don't watch, but I know you listen because you're always the first one that says, where's the podcast? It didn't drop. Okay, it's coming. Hang on. So we know it's there. We know you're listening. So we always start with rapid fire. So you have to answer whatever comes out of your mouth, right or wrong. It doesn't matter. It's that right answer is whatever you say.
Coffee.
So no, we're not doing that. See, listen to this. You're good. That's good. But we've extended ourselves. Okay, we've gone beyond the coffee and the tea aspect. No beach and no mountains. This is Herschel oriented. Okay, all these questions relate to you in some way, shape, or form. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
First one. So when you run, do you like new shoes or new socks?
New shoes.
There we go. Professional baseball, Cincinnati Reds or the Houston Astros?
Houston Astros.
Wearing the shirt. I should have known. All right, here we go. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Warren Sapp or Warwick Dunn?
Warren Sapp.
All right. Is it y'all or all y'all?
Ooh, if it's more than 3, it's all y'all. For us right now, it's y'all.
All right. We're just 3 or less. We're 3 or less are gathered. It's y'all.
Brilliant. Well, Herschel, it's great to get to know you. And from those questions, what the listeners probably don't know is you're a runner, so you like to run it. You like to run a lot, and you're obviously a good big baseball fan. And you're based in Houston, hence Houston Astros. So that tells us a little bit more about you. But we want to go deeper. And the podcast season, as you know, as an avid listener, is game changer, right? So our first question is, can you tell us why you believe God is the ultimate game changer, and when did he change your life?
So he changed my life back in 2000 when I was 37 years old, and I became a believer. And since then, my life has never been the same. So yeah, I went from being in business and selling real estate to doing ministry and helping children and helping others around the world. So yeah, my life has never, ever, ever been the same since 2000. That was a quick answer, wasn't it?
Still on quickfire. That was quicker than your quickfire.
Hey, short and sweet. He's got the elevator pitch down. We love it. So since you became a Christian, maybe even the last 30 years of your life, how have you seen pre-God or before your life with God and now your life with God? How has that changed, doing real estate, doing missions, and just doing life generally?
Yeah, I was a lot more focused on being able to do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and just whether it's going to a baseball game, flying off and going to a sporting event. And now I'm more focused on what does God have for me? What does he want? How can I impact other people for the Lord? And how can I make a difference for his kingdom? So instead of being self-oriented, I've become God-oriented. When I didn't even think about that till you said that, but that's the facts.
Well, so you mentioned a little bit then, so you were in real estate, and then somehow you transitioned into mission. It was because God can change your life. Tell us a bit about your work background then. So what are you doing? I also heard you were incredibly a sailor as well. So tell us about that. How does a 6'7" guy become a sailor? So yeah, tell us how that happens.
Yeah, so I didn't want to go to university. Let's not lie. There's no desire nor no money, to go to university. So the Navy was a great way to get an education and see the world. The Navy is really where I learned a couple things. First of all, I learned I could live anywhere, and so you live on a ship and a rack, a bed that was way smaller than I am, height-wise, and just. I could live pretty much anywhere. And it's also where I learned about teamwork, which really goes into sports and everything else. But I learned you don't have to like people to work with them. You don't have to like people on your team to make something happen and have one goal whether it's for God's glory or to win a game or whatever it is. So I learned a lot there. In business, I learned so much about dealing with people, about just listening and hearing what people's needs are, what their goals are, and trying to figure out how do we meet those. So I think there's so many things that transition into ministry and everything else, and not being focused on myself and being selfish, but literally, how do I help others get what they want? And so just focusing on other people. And now I went from just focusing on other people's and what they want is to how do I focus on God and what he wants and what he's asking us to do? So life has really changed incredibly over the last 30 years. I never thought we'd live overseas, never thought my wife would move overseas. But God showed her in a dream that we would live in Africa. And so she said yes, and we moved. And then God has been working in our lives for a long time, and we just try and seek him in everything we do and follow him and chase after him in everything.
So wait, she said yes to Africa before saying yes to you to be married, or was it kind of a loaded question?
No, she did say yes to me being married first. Yeah, that was that took 2 years just to get her to date me, though. If we really want to go there,
Let's go there. We know Christine is a godly woman. We know that she was looking for a godly man, but she settled for Herschel.
yeah, she got mean.
Just kidding.
I was anything but that when we got married. I was not that. No, that's just truth.
Driving around his 280Z. You weren't. You were living in Florida. Was that right?
I moved from Florida to Texas in 1992.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, I asked her, I met Christine, asked her out. The first time I met her, she was working it, and I was with some clients in real estate and asked her out. She said she was embarrassed and said no. And then I'd see her around every once in a while, I'd ask her out, and she'd say no. And finally, she said, hey, call me next month. So for 6 months, back in the day, you know, we didn't have these cell phones. We had day timers, these books where you put notes and things you wanted to do. And she'd say, call me in a month. So my day timer, I'd write, call Christine a month later. And finally, after 6 months, she said yes to a date. That was just a date, you know, but
Persistence. You got there.
Persistence beats resistance. There we go.
there's a quote, Ben, write that one down,
Well,
brother.
that's where it came from. It's come from his book. He's got his book right next to it.
But somehow, Herschel, I want to know, you ended up in Nigeria, and Carl was in Nigeria as well. So
What?
yeah. So what on earth happened then? And yeah, tell us about what you were doing. You said you did some ministry with children, but what happened there?
You know, Kyle looked nothing like that. So are you sure it's the same person?
We need to get some pictures up right now. Show some pictures from that time, I think.
Yeah, you know, in 2002, I'd been a believer a little more than 2 years. We were at a family camp, and we met a family home from Nigeria, and they invited us to come visit them. He told us stories of God coming to people in dreams and visions. And I didn't realize that still happened. You know, I was a new believer, and I had no earthly idea. And they told us about God appearing to people in dreams and visions and them coming to faith. And I said, I'd love to see it. I'd love to know more about it. And they invited us to come visit them in Nigeria. They didn't realize a little more than 2 years later we would actually live there. So we moved there in the middle of 2004 to work with a ministry that worked with street kids, widows, and the destitute. So fun. So fun. Got lots of sickness over there, you know, got worms in my feet. So you get to have a lot of fun over there. But man, there were so many great things going on and lives being changed. When we got there, the ministry was focused a lot on street kids, just boys. And then a couple years later, they added girls. So it's really, the ministry's grown and blown up in good ways, not bad ways.
So Ben, he was actually part of the first basic training we did in Nigeria.
Wow.
In 2005, there's
Little
even
known
a picture
fact.
somewhere to prove this.
There is.
Wow. There's got to be some pictures for that. I have seen a picture with my own eyes with that, and that's incredible. So you were there, first basic training in Nigeria, Herschel. So we're going to fast forward a little bit now to 2025. So you were always with SIM, obviously over in Nigeria, and a ministry of SIM is Sports Friends. So now, fast forward, you now have a hat with Sports Friends. Tell us about that hat before we go into the KitAid hat.
Man, I need like 3, 4, or 5 hats.
Here, take mine. Take mine.
That one would work. That would be one of them. You know, one of my positions with Sports Friends is I'm a regional coordinator, so I get to work with our team in North America and in Europe, and most of those teams are focused on refugees. So I was just in Northern California where we had a tournament over a weekend, and they had 175 kids playing soccer and their parents, and it's just beautiful to see what God is doing and how those people are being loved on and ministered to, and just the joy that they're seeing through what they're doing. Girls, you know, when they come from the background that these girls are from, they didn't usually play sports. So that ministry is really growing. And so they get to just talk to these families and tell them about girls being involved in sports and give them the opportunity to play, to succeed, and to learn about, again, teamwork and so many other things instead of just staying behind the scenes. So it was really exciting to see the parents on the girls' day. It was way different than the parents on the boys' day. The parents when we had a day for just girls, they were just cheering and excited to see their girls out there. The parents for the boys were a lot more demanding, you know, so it was fun to see the difference.
Love it. So to be clear, you with Sports Friends, regional coordinator, obviously over North America, and that and obviously Canada's in there because I know our Canadian leader want to make sure he's mentioned, and over the UK, right, as well. So you're over there.
Oh, the UK. So we want to mention that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and they work with refugees in UK. They work with refugees in Switzerland. And so we're really trying to make a difference. And really, it all started, right, with a soccer ball going out to a field. It really wasn't planned in a lot of these places in California, in Northern California, it wasn't planned. They had just moved back from doing ministry overseas to be with their parents, and they showed up at a park with a soccer ball, and the kids started coming. It's amazing what can be done when you bring a ball out somewhere.
And your second hat now?
My second hat. I love what we're doing with KitAid. You know, KitAid UK has been around since 1998, and KitAid in the US was just launched last year. And the fact is, what they do with the kit is they bring it and they send it all around the world to encourage kids and adults so that the kit that wasn't used anymore by a team can still be used and renewed when it goes to overseas, to Africa, to Asia, or somewhere else. And the kids and the adults, both when they get it, are excited, and just, you get to tell them more about what God is doing. They get to see what these teams are doing. They get to follow a new team because they get excited about, where did this actual uniform come from? So
more than just a shirt.
It's more than just a jersey.
That's the line. There you go.
What is your best thing about your role with Sports Friends as a regional coordinator?
You know, I love working with different countries and different people and trying to help them move forward and seeing what we can do and brainstorming and just seeing what God is doing and hearing stories from around the world about how God is just opening doors through sports, through churches realizing how sports can be used, because with a ball, you can go somewhere where a kid is not going to come to church, or a parent may not come to church. They'll go to the field and they'll play soccer, whether it's netball, basketball, volleyball. There's all sorts of different sports where we can open doors to tell people about who Jesus is simply with a ball. And even cricket in some places, right?
Yeah, Carl loves cricket. He loves cricket now. It's a new favorite sport. So
I don't even understand cricket. It's a bat and a ball, but it's totally different than baseball.
It's always good fun hearing Americans trying to explain cricket. It's always good. Good laugh. So we've heard about Sports Friends. That sounds awesome. Just all of those things, hearing what God's doing in all of those places that, you know, your regional corner over. Amazing stuff. And I also just love that you've been since 2005. You saw the power of sports ministry and you've stayed with it. Now you, like, fast forward 20 years, you're now overseeing a lot of the work as well, which is really exciting. But KitAid, okay, so KitAid-USA. So just so everyone knows, KitAid UK started, like you said, 1998. They've sent over 1.1 million items of kit, which is amazing. It also launched in Australia. So there's KitAid Australia, if you look at that up online. But where KitAid-USA? So tell us about the team. Tell us a little bit about KitAid-USA, a little bit more. Fill out what's your role, where you are, where it started, and all that kind of stuff.
Our registered headquarters is actually in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great place to visit, great place to be, fun airport to go in and out of. So come on for a fish fry on Friday, come to Milwaukee. So we want to get kit that's been used. Slightly used is good, but you know, there's a lot of good kit out there. Whether someone gets traded or just the teams are their sponsors change, we don't care who the sponsor is. We're happy to give that kit away and just give it new life. If you have any questions, you can send an email to info@KitAid-USA.com. So info@KitAid-USA.com. Milwaukee's a great place to be. You can always come for a fish fry on Friday.
There you go. I'll join you for that. I'll host you. If you come to Milwaukee and you've got some kit to donate, or you want to just have a discussion on what's going on, we'll go for a fish fry if it's a Friday. Oh, so being a logistics director, there's also things that we've already received last year. 2024, we had quite a bit of donations, even though just getting started. What were some of the things that, some of the places that gave us stuff?
We had HTX Soccer from Houston, Texas, give kit. We had Brookfield School and Church give kit. And we also had Sunrise Surf in Florida give kit. So we'd love to get more people to give kit. We need kit to go around the world. It is a blessing to so many. So contact us at info@KitAid-USA.com. And then we have a meet and greet coming up too, right?
We do. Tell us about that.
We have a meet and greet Friday, March 28th. We'd love to have you there. Again, email us at info@KitAid-USA.com to find out more.
I'm excited for that because we have got the founder of KitAid UK, and he's also on the...
No way! He's
video.
Coming too?
Certainly is. Derek Williams is going to be there.
Yes!
So it's going to be meet and greet Derek, who was our first ever guest on the Already One podcast. If you remember, he was the first one in season 1, episode 2, Derek Williams was the first ever guest on Audio One. So I know listeners would probably remember that if you have been listening a long time. If you haven't, go back and check that one out. And it tells you all about the stories. As Carl said earlier, it's more just a shirt. It's more than just a jersey as well. So we know about the launch. We know about KitAid-USA. What can people do? So, let me just get this straight. We've got headquarters in Milwaukee. We've got storage in Charlotte. We've got storage in Texas. But we've also received donations from all over the US. If people are listening, how can they get involved? Could they give financially? Could they give kit? Is there people who can transport kit? What ways can people listening get involved with KitAid-USA?
Ben, that is a fantastic question. They can give financially and partner with us that way because the kit has to get somewhere, right? Not only does it have to get to our storehouse, but it has to get somewhere overseas. So they can give financially to help with that. They can give kit, and so we can either have it shipped, or they could ship it, or we will store it and we'll get it overseas. And we'd love, whether it's a university team, a high school team, professional teams, we'd love to get kit that we could send out all over the world. What other ways can they get involved? They can probably go with us somewhere. Hey, if they want to go with us somewhere, email us at info@KitAid-USA.com, and we'll see if we can get you to help distribute kit around the world.
In case you don't know, Herschel's getting paid $10 every time he says the email address. So you're up to 100 now.
What's the website address?
Herschel, I'm going to let you say it.
KitAid-USA.com. Come visit us. See what we're doing.
And also, I should add that since Herschel's logistics, he's handling all the big donations. So we want to get people to partner with us. Like Sports Friends is a partner of KitAid, so we can benefit from those kits that are donated. We can distribute them around the world, as Herschel said before. So if you want to be a partner, give us a call. Give us an email at where do they send the email, Herschel?
info@KitAid-USA.com.
$110. All right. Now you don't always work with coaches, but sometimes you get to interact with them. You work with the coordinator, the country leaders and such. But what kind of game-changing advice would you give them as it relates to Sports Friends and maybe even KitAid?
And I've done some of the Bible studies that Ben's been sending out with our training. They're fantastic. Use them because they'll make you look better and smarter, right? And you'll be able to make disciples even easier. As you use these Bible studies, they're a blessing, and they're available to you at no cost. And so there's already materials out there. That's one of the things I love about Sports Friends is we give them drills if they need those. We give them Bible studies and just ways to make disciples. But here's what I would tell you. Meet the kids where they are, give them time, love them, and they'll be open to hearing the gospel, and their lives will be forever changed.
There we go. Meet them where they are.
He's writing that down. You made the book, Herschel. Consider yourself valuable.
Took me till the end of the episode, but I made the book.
Oh, it's good. Well, you mentioned, I know you talked about the donations from some of those places, but Carl, you actually took some over, right, to Nigeria. Tell us, what the impact was like when you took it over to Nigeria for the basketball camp.
I mean, as my story would be, is as Ben, you were talking about KitAid, and you were actually sharing these way before I even knew what KitAid was. I was like, oh, these are great shirts. And you started to explain what KitAid was, who Derek is. And I started asking people for donations. So I remember even grabbing high school jerseys, basketball, and shoes. And I've continued to do that. So I've been they would say the mule that takes equipment over. So I'll either get an old rucksack or a duffel bag or a suitcase and just fill it with all these donations and distribute them to our various fields. And the excitement these kids get when they get a pair of shoes that have a sole on them, that have shoestrings on them is amazing. But also having a uniform with their team when they play a game, it's just their eyes just light up. It's a life-changing experience. Getting the picture, they can always have that as a memory to go back on. So that's why we say it's more than just a shirt. It's the experience. It's the encouragement. It's to know that these children aren't just alone. They have their coach. They have the bigger community in the country, but they have internationally. They have people working, helping, supporting them, and praying for them.
So good. I think that's a really good way to say it. And just, we've obviously seen the impact of that. We've been a partner of KitAid, like you say, Sports Friends. But like you say, we've got others. And if you want to be a partner to receive kit, to take it over, you can do that as well. And we've seen the impact of it. It joins the team together. They can go deeper. They have an identity. There's so many amazing things that kit does. So Herschel, thank you for sharing from two perspectives. One, Sports Friends, regional coordinator, and being there from 2005. And then also, that's the first hat. The second hat, you need a KitAid-USA hat, logistics director. What I've heard is that we've got different places across America, Wisconsin, Charlotte, and Houston, where people can give kit. And if you've got kit, we could somehow get it to these places and then give it to these partner charities to then send it. So that's what I've heard. Is that right, logistics director? Is that correct?
It is right. And Kyle brought up such a great point, right? It brings a team together, wearing the same uniforms. They feel seen, they feel valued, they feel heard, and they're just so excited when they have those uniforms. So thank you guys in advance. Thank everybody that's thinking about or going to think about or going to give. Kit, donations, shoes, whatever it is.
Thank you, Mr. Herschel. Thank you for everything that you've shared, self-orientated or God-orientated, and we can see you living a God-orientated life for Sports Friends and for KitAid as well. So we appreciate you, and thanks for coming in and sharing some humor, sharing some of your life story as well. Appreciate it a lot.
Love you guys. Excited about the podcast. I made it.
You made it.
There you go. Herschel Rothchild, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only.
Wearing two hats for Sports Friends and
Right, wear more hats than that.
Yes.
Yeah, KitAid and Sports Friends. Yep, plus a few others. I guarantee you.
That's it. A lot of hats. Now I tell you what I liked. He said you don't have to like people to work with them, and I was thinking
Obviously that's the case.
Well, I enjoyed that. No, but I picked up some good stuff, about really listening and hearing people's needs, not being self-oriented. I think he said how he lived a life quite self-orientated, but then clearly God changed his life. Clearly being God-orientated, go to Nigeria and then being led now to work with Sports Friends. And then also now with KitAid-USA, like we joke about those hats, but I think God has led him into this role now as logistics director. And he shared a lot of things, right? And around KitAid-USA, some good stuff, powerful, right?
Yeah, I think he knows the reality of what happens with kit and donations that come in. My story similar to Derek's. I mean, I think that Derek's was the original, just having a jersey and seeing someone's life just change and having inspiration to begin KitAid back in the late 90s. I think it was great, and that's what it is. Once you know that, and it's a good partner. It's an equal, it's KitAid is not doing what Sports Friends is doing, and Sports Friends isn't doing what KitAid's doing. So it's not like we're competing for anything. We're helping the world grow and develop and be empowered, but also helping them to receive something that they otherwise wouldn't have access to.
Yeah, I think you're right. It really does enhance our stuff. Like, yes, we train coaches, Sports Friends, but Kit is for anyone who wants to take it over with their partners. There's so many different ways that Kit can bless people in that way, isn't it? And if you've got Kit, please do think about getting in touch to donate it. And if you're part of a school or high school or college, whatever, university, and you can get a big batch, then get in touch as well. And we'll take pretty much most kit, I think, if we can get there and take it, which is good. So, yeah, more than just a shirt, KitAid, loads of stories. And I'm sure in the future as well, we'll have more stories around how the kit has really impacted different people. But I think it's also important to say that KitAid in the UK is being non-religious, non-political. And that's something that Derek's really key about, because we'll give kit to different places, different partners who will want to receive it. We'll give it different ways, right? So I think that's important to say as well. So yeah, please do get in touch if you'd like to receive kit, or if you'd like to give kit as well, or if you want to give financially or get involved, join the team. Hey, you could be a regional coordinator. In the UK, we have an army of regional coordinators who basically collect the kit and then give it. So that's a massive role, right? So if you're in a different state across America, get in touch again and join the team. Join Herschel as logistics director.
And you will never regret it. Or forget it.
Never regret it, never forget it. I think on that note, Mad Dog, we should wrap it there. Because I tell you what, this season it's all about how God is the ultimate game changer, and He helps us not live a self-oriented life, but live a God-oriented life. We have guests that bring gold dust that help you change the game in the lane you are in.
And as Herschel says, meet them where they're at. But remember, as you're meeting them, tell the friends, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell those parents, friends, just tell everybody. The drops of gold dust. You've already gone.